Hey ActiveXer, so this brief series of brief videos is about how I hurt my back and what I learned from hurting my back at the weekend. I did hurt my back at the weekend. How did I do it? I was unwise. I lifted a ceramic pot, which had a small tree in it. It was probably about 50 kilos, but I thought, hey, I can do this. Get it up on the knees, ended up sort of hugging the pot and walking along like that. And had to readjust at one point because it was slowly slipping. Did a quick pull up and hey, it's too much for my back and I strained my back. Nobody else to blame but me. But the first thing I learned is the importance of understanding. So because I understand how backs work and how pain works, I didn't get all fearful. Because fear is one of the worst things you can do when you experience pain. It tends to magnify the pain in the short term, but also tends to lead you to being tense and wary of doing anything. And so fear is a really bad combination when you have pain. So understanding is super important, and that's why I do these videos. Important to help you to understand. So that's the first thing I learned from hurting my back at the weekend. Second thing I learned was the importance, well, I didn't learn it, it reaffirmed for me the importance of gentle movement. I am a big advocate, as you will see if you watched any of my videos, of the standing wobble. And the first thing I did when I put that pot down, because fortunately it wasn't so painful that I dropped to my knees and dropped the pot, I was able to put the pot down. So I put the pot down and just gently waved my hips from side to side. And that's me telling my brain, it's okay. No need for a huge alarm here. Everything's going to be okay. Whereas if you hurt yourself and just freeze, so in many people's cases lie down and be scared to move, then your nervous system goes into a high state of alarm. And the longer you stay still there and sort of go, oh, I better not move, the longer you do that for, when you do finally move, then you're going to get another spasm of pain. Whereas it's a bit like falling off the horse, just get back on again. Now, I wasn't going to be daft enough to try and lift the pot again, but certainly it was important just to maintain a little gentle movement. And I've continued that, so it's not just my initial response to straining my back, but also ever since. So it is important, having said that, to have periods of rest. Don't expect to be able to do all the things you would normally do when you've strained something, whether that be your back or your arm or your leg or whatever. So you will need short periods of rest, but make sure they're interspersed with frequent periods of low-grade activity. So if your back feels comfortable walking, then walk. If, like me, it feels comfortable swaying from side to side, then do that. Sorry, I'm making you feel a bit seasick. So what straining my back did for me again is reaffirm the importance of gentle movement. Always go back to this rule, use it or lose it, but don't abuse it. And the third thing I learned is that luck always plays a role in life. Now, I don't know whether 9 times out of 10 I might have got away with lifting that pot. On reflection, maybe it's probably 5 or 6 times out of 10, but I didn't get away with it on that occasion. It was a bad move and my back just wasn't strong enough to do that with a 50 kilo pot. So bad luck, lack of good luck, who knows? But the other element here is, so last night, so I did it Saturday, today's Monday as I'm recording this. So I've done night 2, last night, night 2. It's about 3 in the morning, I turned over in bed. Now fortunately I've been able to sleep reasonably well despite the pain, but I turned over just a little bit briskly, sort of turned around and there was that flash of pain across my lower back again. Now that definitely has set me back a tiny bit, so that's just bad luck. It's very difficult to control what you do when you're in bed asleep, or half asleep as I was. So bad luck can play a part, but so can good luck. Could have been worse. It could have hurt my back a lot worse in that lifting maneuver. So luck plays a part. Well, the fourth thing I learnt, or had confirmed for me, which is very gratifying, is that my back is more robust now than it was in my 20s, and that's nearly 30 years ago. In fact, it is partly because I'm in my 50s now. So if you don't know, I had 7 years of on-off, sometimes constant for months, lower back pain and sciatica in my 20s. But finally started following my own advice when I was about 26, and yeah, over the years I've stuck to that. I've stuck to my own plan, which, as you know, is my kind of number one piece of advice, is get a good plan and stick to it. But as a consequence, my back is stronger now than it was in my 20s. If I had strained my back in this way in my 20s, that would be weeks, possibly months of problems for me. Whereas I'm very confident I will resolve this over a matter of probably a few days. Now, I won't be able to go back to lifting heavy stuff within that few day time period, but probably within 2 to 3 weeks I should be back to full strength. And certainly for everyday activities, within a few days, I'll be fine. And as I don't know if I said in previous videos in this series, I cycled to work today, 13 miles. Actually, when I was on the bike, as long as I'm in a particular position, I'm reasonably comfortable. I don't put any great effort through the pedals at the moment because of my lower back strain, but when I got off the bike after 13 miles, I was no worse than when I got on it. So, you know, I'm doing okay considering. Hey, we all make mistakes, and it's really important to own them. There's no point in blaming someone else for me straining my back. It's my decision to lift the pot. It's my choice to do it in that particular way, and my back was not strong enough to cope, as it turned out. So I hurt it. 4-letter word warning here. Shit happens. Yeah. So bad luck. Strained my back, or bad judgment in this case. Strained my back, and it's going to take a few days to get better. We all make mistakes. You're never too old enough to learn. And I'll throw in another one. Another thing I've learned is, this reaffirmed for me the value of my pain equation. And if you haven't listened to episodes 5 and 6 on the Active X-Backs podcast about the pain equation, you can do that, or you can just Google pain equation. So the pain equation helps to explain why you have the amount of pain that you have at any given moment in time. It's a science-based approach to combining all the variables involved in determining how much pain you will have at any given moment in time. And I found it really helpful to think about the pain equation over the last couple of days, and it's reaffirmed the importance for me about just keeping busy, not focusing on the fact I have a sore back and hey, here I'm making a video about it, so that's making me focus on it. So I'm very conscious of my lower back at the moment because I'm talking about it to you. But actually, much more important to, get on with jobs, so long as they don't hurt, just carry on. So there we have it. What did I learn from hurting my lower back? Brief review: how important understanding is, how important gentle movement is, that luck plays a part. Fortunately, that my back is stronger now than it was in my 20s, and we all make mistakes, but hey ho, the pain equation explains it all. Great, hope you've enjoyed this brief series. As ever, please, if you do listen to the podcast, like the podcast, give us a review on Apple, iTunes, wherever, Spotify, wherever you listen to that podcast. And, if you like these series of videos, then do share them and promote them widely on whichever social media platform you are watching them on. See you again soon.